never see a vehicle so commanding, so unapologetically sure of itself, that it doesn't just grab your attention, it halts it. Well, buckle up, because today, Motor Verdict Meter dives deep into the 2026 Toyota Grand Land Cruiser, a machine that doesn't ask for your respect, it earns it. This isn't just another full-size SUV. This is Toyota's way of saying, we remember where we came from, but we're not staying there. The Grand Land Cruiser arrives as a reborn legend, bridging heritage and high-tech futurism like no other. Think of it as the spiritual evolution of the Land Cruiser lineage, but sculpted for the world of 2026, where the battlefield isn't just rugged terrain, it's also design, technology, and luxury. And right out of the gate, it's going head-to-head with titans like the Range Rover Autobiography, Lexus LX600, and even Mercedes GLS Maybach, but with that unmistakable Toyota soul. Let's start where first impressions are made, the backside. The Grand Land Cruiser's rear doesn't scream for attention. It speaks softly, like a ruler who knows his crown is earned. The LED taillights stretch across the sculpted tailgate, giving it a width and stance that feel both grounded and regal. You'll notice the precision in every line, the subtle integration of chrome, the satin black finish wrapping the lower diffuser, and the elegant, tucked-away exhaust outlets. It's confident, not flashy. The kind of design that feels inevitable, as if it couldn't have been shaped any other way. Move to the left side, and you see the Grand Land Cruiser's real personality unfold. Those towering proportions, the squared arches hugging massive all-terrain tires, and the sleek silhouette with its slightly tapered roofline, they all strike that rare harmony between brute power and refined calm. The matte blue metallic paint seems to absorb light rather than reflect it, giving the SUV an almost mystical depth. Under daylight, it's commanding. Under city lights, it glows like liquid shadow. Swing around to the right, and you see the geometry that Toyota has mastered, symmetry meeting strength. The long doors open with weighty precision, and the sculpted character line slicing through the doors gives the impression of constant motion, even when parked. You get the sense that every panel, every angle, every detail was considered not for trend, but for timelessness. But step inside, and that's where the real transformation happens. The cabin of the 2026 Grand Land Cruiser isn't just luxurious, it's spiritual. Everything here is wrapped in deep black Napa leather, with subtle copper stitching tracing through the seams like veins of molten earth. The moment the doors close, the outside world fades away. The silence inside isn't empty, it's full. The seats cradle you with quiet authority, sculpted to perfection and cooled or heated with adaptive sensors that respond to your body temperature. The dash is minimalist yet meaningful. A sleek horizontal line broken by a panoramic OLED display that feels more like an art installation than an interface. And then there's the steering wheel, thick, confident, textured perfectly, with haptic controls that don't distract, just respond. Everything inside feels tuned to human rhythm, not to overwhelm, but to empower. It's what Toyota calls functional serenity, and honestly, that phrase nails it. You get ambient lighting that doesn't just glow, it breathes, shifting subtly with your drive mode. You've got a panoramic roof so wide, it almost feels like you're driving beneath the night sky itself. And the audio system, it's tuned by Mark Levinson to make every note resonate through the cabin like a concert hall on wheels. Now let's talk power, because this SUV isn't just a pretty face. Under the hood lies a twin-turbocharged V6 hybrid powertrain producing an estimated 450 horsepower and over 600 Nm of torque. Toyota's engineers have struck a near-perfect balance between brutal off-road muscle and futuristic efficiency. The torque delivery is instant, and the hybrid system gives it a near-silent launch, smooth as silk, but unstoppable once it's rolling. And off-road? Oh, it's still a Land Cruiser at heart. You've got adaptive terrain modes, electronically controlled suspension, and a new generation of Toyota's crawl control system that can practically walk this SUV through boulders and sand dunes like it's Sunday stroll material. Compare that to the Range Rover or even the BMW X7, and you'll realize this thing isn't trying to mimic luxury SUVs. It's redefining what luxury feels like when it's forged in adventure. Driving the Grand Land Cruiser is an experience in itself. There's something about the elevated driving position that changes how you see the world. You don't just see traffic, you oversee it. The steering is weighty but smooth, the braking precise, and the chassis balance so composed that even tight city corners feel effortless. It doesn't lunge or roar for attention. It moves like it's gliding on purpose. Every motion, every input, every hum of the hybrid motor feels deliberate, like a conversation between driver and machine. Now, of course, perfection comes at a price. The expected starting price for the 2026 Toyota Grand Land Cruiser is around $110,000 USD, depending on configuration and region. But when you consider what you're getting, the craftsmanship, the heritage, the engineering depth, it starts feeling less like a purchase and more like a partnership. This isn't just a family SUV. It's a generational statement, the kind of vehicle that'll still look relevant 20 years from now, when most others will look dated. Toyota didn't just modernize the Land Cruiser, they reimagined it for an era where authenticity still matters. So what's the verdict? The 2026 Toyota Grand Land Cruiser is a masterpiece of balance, heritage meeting innovation, muscle meeting mindfulness, power meeting peace. It's the kind of vehicle that makes you drive slower, not because it's sluggish, but because you want to savor every second behind the wheel. It's not a trend chaser. It's a tone setter, a machine that whispers instead of shouts but still commands the whole room. And in a market full of noise and gimmicks, that quiet confidence might just be the loudest thing about it. If Toyota brings this concept to life even 80% of what we've seen, the rest of the SUV world better take notes. Because this is what timeless evolution looks like. And hey, if you love seeing legends reborn and icons reinvented, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss our next deep dive into the world's most remarkable machines. This is Motor Verdict Meter, and we'll see you in the next drive.